Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. I can resist everything except temptation, and the biggest temptation for synth addict is, without a doubt, modular. Today we are going to talk about the Korg Volca Modular. Putting this 2019 gateway drug to the world of modular synths in general and West Coast synthesis in particular on the show is a risky move for someone who is lacking the self-control to handle a can of Pringles. Until now I was able to just say no to going on a synth module shopping spree, but you know what they say, modular not even once.
At the first glance, smaller boxes have never been ticked. A Buchla easel for kids touch strip, patch cords that double as perfidious torture instruments, and no MIDI in. In case you are asking yourself WTAF a low-pass gate is, here's a little context to why this Volca is such a strange beast. There are basically two schools of creating electronic fart noises, West Coast and East Coast. While the latter is based on the pragmatic engineer-like approach of Bob Moog, which delivered the framework for most of the synths we know and love, West Coast synthesis was developed by Don Buchla and is devoted to a more experimental way of making music, deliberately disconnected from existing practices. Both philosophies originated in the 60s, and although the synthesizer can be considered to be an integral part of psychedelic counterculture, their creators were mostly unaware of the works of the other. We are talking about yet another rabbit hole of epic proportions, so let's go with a crude simplification. Moog, Wendy Carlos switched on Bach, Buchla, Morten Subotnick, Silver Apples of the Moon. Moog, traditional keyboard, Buchla, Klingon, Photon, Torpedo, control surface. Moog, sample and hold, Buchla, source of uncertainty. A source that we can be certain of is the Buchla-esque main oscillator of the Volca Modular. Two analog triangle waveforms can be intertwined with simple FM and artfully clipped with a wave folding stage. In its unpatched state, this signal is fed into one of the two aforementioned low-pass gates, which are in principle gates that affect both the output level and the high-frequency content of a signal. The last element of the audio signal chain is space out, a digital recreation of the acoustics of a Death Star urinal. This minimalist set of sound shaping tools can be modulated by using two envelopes, so-called functions. Number 1 is attack, hold, release, pre-patched to LPG1, and number 2 is a rise-fall generator that can, among other things, be used as an LFO. Both spit out an inverted envelope and an end-of-cycle impulse. The utility module lets you scale, combine and subtract both audio and modulation signals. Unpatched Woggle samples and holds a pink noise generator, but accepts other inputs too. It has a stepped and a smooth output. Split is a basic multiplier. The 16-step sequencer boasts random, pattern chaining, active step, motion recording, bounce, and stochastic for added unpredictability. Korg included simplified microtuning and a selection of Western and non-Western scales. The sequencer is pre-wired to source pitch and function 1, but it has outputs for half speed, third speed and quarter speed gates, and tempo can be modulated within a certain range. All this sounds like a nice addition to an existing setup, but the internal control voltage standard of 3.3 volts is not compatible with Eurorec. There is, however, a 2-channel TRS-CV input willing to accept orders from the outside world, and Volca Sync. Patching logic is well documented in the concise user manual. Like all Volcas, Modular can be powered using batteries, it comes with a tinny speaker and it is available for the price of one Volca.
The Korg Volca Modular is probably the cheapest and simplest way to give East Coast style synthesis a go without having to resort to software. Is it just an educational tool or can it be used for actual music production?
You have already heard the tiny modular in today's intro tune. That's unorthodox to put it mildly. I'm looking forward to the bleeping and the blooping in the first jam.
I like that a lot. To be honest, I had little idea what was going on, but it's easy to wing it with basic knowledge of analog synthesis. The tiny patch points make it even fiddlier to use than other Volcas. Two of the main points of criticism are the lack of connectivity and limitations when it comes to creating more traditional sounds. It is time to address these issues. Of another method capable of producing that kind of cello-like sound. On the other hand, I don't see any reason why anyone would actually want that. Using the Volca Modular in conventional arrangements is not easy. I'll try my best in this mostly coastless experimental proto-acid jazz modular pastiche. The Modular is probably the least approachable Volca. I think it has become obvious why the more conventional East Coast style has become the dominant design, and the tiny form factor and minimalist module selection of this particular instrument don't offer the unlimited possibilities and satisfying creative process associated with modular synthesis. However, the little Volca gives modular noobs like me a glimpse into the philosophy of Don Buchla's approach and allows for unexpected and often surprisingly usable results. Fortunately, the Volca Modular is only catnip compared to the all-consuming steampunk drug that is real modular. So once again I can say, not today, Satan. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.